What's up guys, Jack here with MTS, and I'm here at Village Church and Pastor House, having just completed the installation at Pastor's House. Now for the past 3 years, I've been this church's AV guy, live stream, infrastructure, IT, Wi-Fi, cameras, the works. You name it, I do it. And we've just expanded here into Pastor's House now that we don't have anybody living here. Now, while nobody's living here in the patronage, the head of properties came to me and asked, hey Jack, is there any way we can get some environmental sensors over here just to make sure that, we're keeping an eye on the temperature, the humidity, making sure the doors are closed, all of that stuff. And I'm like, absolutely. Now, Mr. Properties Man goes, well, Jack, don't these sensors need Wi-Fi? And I'm like, well, we're gonna take care of that too. It's part of the whole thing. You can also hear the Carillon bells going off. I installed that for him too. But so I was like, hey, while we're putting an antenna on the side of Pastor's House, can I also put a camera here that's gonna see the back parking lot of the church? And he's like, will you do cameras? Can we get some more? I'm like, I got you, of course we can. So without further ado, let's take a look at all of the tech we just put in here at Village Pastor House. Starting things off on the outside, we actually have to begin over here at the church. On the church side, we have a Gigabeam Plus mounted to a piece of pipe with a conduit adapter here as our output through the window. We have everything ran inside with a conduit, and this Gigabeam is powered by the switch. Specifically, it's powered by the switch that's in their basement. So it goes Dream Machine to Switch Pro 24, to then it goes to a flex switch up here in this room, where it then goes to a PoE converter and then hits the Gigabeam Plus. Reason I did it that way is I wanted to make sure that the link to Pastor's House was on the battery backup that's in the church basement. We got the internet backed up, we got the internet redundant, the switches are redundant. Got to make sure this link stays redundant too. Redundant in terms of power, you know what I mean. And getting to the pastor's house, we have our Gigabeam Plus on the same type of pipe mount, only vertical rather than being dropped straight down. We have our G5 bullet camera, as well as a drip loop for our wiring. Now everything is just ran using standard outdoor rated cable because we didn't want to have a nice silver piece of conduit up there. We wanted it to be nice and white. And so the wiring follows the gutter path. It goes down behind the gutter. We pop out at the bottom of the gutter, and then we come in to these waterproof cable glands. The whole thing is amply silicone, so this is very, very, very weather sealed. And this is the subfloor, or the sub-basement of Pastor's House. There's a wall about right here that divides sub-basement underneath the entryway and the rest of the actual basement. And you'll see more of that inside. Did I mention the drip loop? Because drip loops have lots of drip loops. Water will kill your things faster than your stupidity ever can. Now, making our way around to the front of Pastor House, we have our doorbell light. They requested a doorbell camera or something on the front of the house, so we put up the new doorbell light. It works fantastic. It is nice and white. We have the cable coming in and going down some wire loom that goes, or wire mold down the back here, underneath the doorway, over and around. They already had the entire place before wired using wire molding, so having only one section of wire molding in this build when we're done is perfectly acceptable, and they are still super happy with it. But yeah, we got the doorbell working, we got some chimes on the inside, works great. That's the front of Pastor's House. Taking a look at the side, we have one of our G5 Pro cameras. Now the G5 Pro is able to see the entire driveway as well as this whole side view. It can see over the fence. We have line crossings set up so when somebody hops the fence, we get an alert. Somebody crosses the driveway, we get an alert. And I've already been getting a whole bunch of alerts now that we're here today recording this video. So it works. And on the same wall where we have the G5 Pro, this wires directly into the attic for a nice clean look. But to get our line to the attic, we couldn't go on the inside. More on that later. We had to go on the outside. So we have a siliconed up hole up here, which brings our line down behind the gutter and to another drip loop, which gets us into the church basement. On the back of the house, we have this whole big area to cover along with the garage. And so in order to do this area, we went ahead and put up a G5 Pro as well. Originally, this was a G5 Bullet, and I got it up here, got it all wired, got it installed, and it ended up being way too zoomed in. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to take this camera down, rewire it, add a bunch of lines. This is gonna take hours, put up another camera. I mean, I'm working at the top of a ladder in the freezing cold with my hands above my head. This hurt. I'm like, I got a G5 Pro in my car. We'll see if it's wider than the Bullet. So I swapped that camera while up on the ladder, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. It's able to see literally everything back here. It was just wide enough. And so I was able to swap that camera rather than running new lines. And taking another look at the back here, we have the camera as well as this back little stairwell. The back stairwell, we had to go ahead and have something on this back door. And there's also a drain down here we'll be looking to get some sort of alerts on if it's covered later, but we'll take care of that at a later date. Right now we have a door contact closure on that guy, and that brings us to the rest of the house. This is kind of the door I've been using as my service entrance, so let's go in and take a tour of the inside. Now on this door, we have the SuperLink sensor for entry, and it works great. Went ahead and screwed this into the door so that way it doesn't move. Once we go through the breezeway into the kitchen though, this is where we have our first of the older Protect All-in-One sensors. So this guy gives us door contact closure as well as environment monitoring on the first floor. And we can push through the kitchen to the middle of the home where we have the majority of our stuff for the first floor. If we open this closet, you can tell this is a very old home. We didn't really want to disturb the aesthetic too much. And so I didn't want to do things like put APs on the ceilings. So inside of this closet, we have our lines that come up from downstairs. They go up alongside the old knob and tube wiring, which is a ton of it downstairs. And we have our SuperLink gateway up here at the top of the closet, as well as an AC SHD access point here at the top of the closet facing down as intended. And with the hardware in this closet, we're able to get anywhere from 480 to 650 megabits per second on the Wi-Fi, depending on where you're at in the house. Moving on from our Wi-Fi closet, we have the front door and we have the doorbell chime. I have a wire in the closet here provisioned for a PoE chime in case they want one exposed, but with the PoE chime sitting in the closed closet, it was unaudible upstairs or really throughout the rest of the house. So we went for a Wi-Fi chime exposed over here until again they tell me, yeah, go ahead and just put the chime in the wall. And so that's all the hardware in the first floor, but in the basement, we have even more hardware to support all of this. So let's see where the connections come in and what we do with them. We can make our way to this little area, and this is the underneath the first subfloor. So at the end down here, you have our two outdoor connections that go to the point-to-point as well as to the camera. And then about right there is the wire that goes for the doorbell. Once we leave this back area, you can see our three lines that come out here. You can also tell that I still have to vacuum up. I'm recording the video before I've done my cleanup section of the job. We have our wires coming out here through the brick wall, and we adhere them to the top of the ceiling. We follow them along here, and you can see our three lines that go up and into the closet, SuperLink, Wi-Fi, as well as, again, the PoE line for a chime that they didn't end up going with just yet. And our bundle follows all the way back to here. And this is where all of the lines centralize. We have a shelf that I went ahead and installed for them. We also have one of their old switches. They had this 8150 watt laying around, so I went ahead and reused it. We're using a direct 24 volt output to go to the point-to-point. I have power control to hard reboot the switch, and we also have a battery backup, keeping in line with the fact that the link to Pastor's house will not be taken down by a power outage. So we have the switch and the point-to-point on both sides, battery backed up. I have remote power control, so that way I don't have to come in here to unplug anything. And we have our distribution that goes away from here. Another thing that I've done is I've gone ahead and put in some screws here to the platform, so that way none of the hardware can shift around. The battery backup can't fall. It really kind of has, this is how it will always be. And you have to go out of your way to move the equipment. It's not gonna get knocked over, it's not gonna fall over, and that's exactly what I want. I've also gone ahead and labeled all of our lines. And that's everything that we have going on in the basement. Now let's head up to the second floor. We also do have a line that goes from the first floor outside, up the back of house gutter and into the attic here, which you'll see, which gets us to our upstairs distribution. And this is the second floor of the pastor's house. And so if we turn on the lights, this is an open type attic area, the only attic access of the house. Now, speaking of this attic space, you got to keep in mind, the majority of the insulation in this house is old asbestos. So I wasn't really looking to go out of my way to fish things through the walls and the ceilings, and we used outside penetrations where we could go up the floors, and we kept everything central to this room for the upstairs of the house. So with the asbestos warning out of the way, upstairs we have the attic, a bathroom, a bedroom, another bedroom, this is the furnace, and a third bedroom. And then this tiny little landing area. So inside of the attic area, I have an AC SHD, and I've gone ahead and leveled it out just by using tie line here. It holds perfect, it works great, and we're able to get 650 meg in all of the rooms upstairs in the house. So Wi-Fi speed, not of concern. Making our way down and following this cable, we can see our service loops, and we have two lines that go to the back of the house. This one is the link to the basement, and this one is the back camera. And then we also have this line down here, which is the side camera. Again, asbestos insulation, so we tacked the lines up here and didn't go behind this paneling. We have some service loop here on all of our cables, triple pointed for the zip ties because we like to go 1, 2, 3, keep it nice, keep it tight. And we come down to our 8 light switch. Again, gone ahead and labeled all of the wires, so just at a glance you can see what's going on. This switch does not require backup power because it is not mandatory for the internet connection getting to the building. And this is, again, all self-contained up here in the storage area. We could add a UPS if we want, we can expand if we need to, and it's all nice and tidy. But with all of that, we now have cameras, Wi-Fi, door contact closures, environmental monitoring, all here at Pastor's house while reducing their monthly bill. Everybody here is super happy. I'm happy. I'm freezing cold. If you can't tell, I can see my breath. I want to get in the car and go home. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a bit of a different style than what I normally do. It was come take a look at this install I already finished rather than come along with me for the journey. But anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you think about this format in the comments down below. Let me know if there's anything you would have done differently here, and I will see you all in the next one.